And now let's talk about the Trisha remark, which has snowballed into a major political controversy. Udhayanidhi Stalin was arrested over his remark against Trisha. Now, Stalin, though, has got relief from the Madras High Court to be released on station bail, but he's still being taken to a different thana for the so-called Puchhtach. Now, HC has also directed Udhayanidhi must cooperate with the police probe. TVK complaint accuses Udhayanidhi of making double-meaning remarks. TVK alleges Uday's remarks were in indirect reference to actor Trisha. Police case includes allegation of outraging the modesty of women. Now, my question is very, very simple before I go to my guests. Before we get into the legality of it, is this a overreach by Vijay, who is a Gen Z, I would say, chief minister who represents Gen Z sensibility? He's a senior. He himself is not Gen Z, but he represents something younger in Tamil Nadu politics. I mean to say, when a case of bad language, inappropriate language, even a vulgar language, does it require arrests? What difference is that when the same opposition is criticizing the so many supporters of Prime Minister Modi for using that language against Jantar Mantar protesters? Or this other way around, BJP is saying that, okay, you have the democracy and right to free speech, but why did you abuse the Prime Minister? And the cases had to be withdrawn because there was public pressure and the young children spoke words which I even cannot mention against the Prime Minister. Is the shoe on the other foot? Is the shoe on the other foot this time around? So I think it's a pretty much complex issue. And to decode it, is he getting the script wrong? Is he is he creating a sort of a reinvention for Udhayanidhi Stalin? That's a political outcome. Doesn't he have a thin skin? It's politics, after all. People say so many things. People say so many things to so many people. But arrest is India or is Indian politics getting a thin skin? On this issue, I'm joined by Nirmal Abraham, political analyst, Shekhar Vijayan, political analyst, V. Subramaniam, again a political analyst, Sasi Rekha, spokesperson TVK, and advocate Sonali Shah. I thank all of you for joining me. But let me first straight away go to Sasi Rekha first. Thank you, madam, for joining me. Do you think that detention was necessary for an inappropriate speech or a vulgar speech or a double meaning speech or something which has hurt the sensibilities of people? Do you think this sort of a action was really required, madam?
Unable to hear.
My question, did you hear my question, madam?
Yeah, will you please repeat the question?
My question is simple. Was this overreach required for inappropriate bad speech or whatever it is? Was this really required? Detention? Someone being detained, leader of opposition?
Good evening, everybody. Yes, of course, there is no room for second thought. It is a detention or arrest today. Whatever it might be, how we can say whatever it might be, this is the rule of law. TVK government is maintaining the rule of law. This court has been said today is it's not a verdict. Bail is not a verdict. Yeah, even getting station bail doesn't mean Vijay is innocent or acquitted. Yesterday and overall 23 minutes of protest against Cauvery or whether make a thought issue, if he spoke about anything in that issue, he is having guts to speak about make a thought issue. This is not a mistake of Udhayanidhi Stalin. This is Gene's mistake. Why? Because it's a paternal grandfather, Mr. Karunanidhi, doing the same thing. That means abusing women and using filthy languages, disgusting languages, obscene languages, even in the assembly also. That is what we are telling. And then his father, Mr. M.K. Stalin, also doing the same. Whether Modi ji and Madam former Chief Minister Puratchi Talavi Amma's meeting, he is also criticized disgusting things they were doing again and again. Likewise, Udhayanidhi Stalin also doing the same thing yesterday. This is the way to asking the water issue. This is the way. First of all, DMK is having any guts to speak about these things. They were lost all state rights, whether it might be NEET or it might be Jallikattu or it might be Mullai Periyar River or it might be Cauvery River issue or it might be Meghathot issue. In the past 5 years, they have do something potential or something materialistic things in these things where they are ruling. They don't have any guts to speaking about these things. But instead of this, he is speaking about such a filthy languages, such a third-rated fellow. Is he a low leader of opposition?
Madam,
Leader of
my
opposition
question,
having
madam,
speaking
my
to
question
this
was
kind of
slightly
things,
different.
unwanted
Though you
things.
had
He's
spoken
fully
of the
speaking
time,
unwanted
let me
things in
just,
the yesterday protest.
madam, you made your point,
Yes.
but my question was slightly different. And, I would just like to get in Nirmal Ibrahim now. Nirmal, are Indian politicians having a thin-skinned day? I mean to say, are we having a thin-skinned day that people are going to go to jail for? And I'm not defending Udhayanidhi Stalin. I'm not defending him. But I'm saying, is this what is going to happen every time when someone goes just, out of step? Nirmal?
I mean, assessing it from a very objective point of view. I know it's hard to assess something like this from an objective point of view, but he did not go there. First of all, Udhayanidhi did not go there with the intent of making a speech about Vijay and Trisha and their relationship. He blurted it out at the spur of the moment, which is still a mistake, as you said. It is still a mistake. But does he have to go to jail for that? No. But I think the whole strategy of TVK here is to make this a conversation and a discussion as we're having right now so that it remains in the news for the next couple of months or so until DMK apologizes so that it can be used against DMK. Because DMK, as you know, when you take all the parties in Tamil Nadu, DMK has the unfortunate bad name of being a women thrasher. Look at, A. Raja, the former union minister, Ponmudi, the former minister, S. Sadiq, a former spokesperson. So there are many people within DMK that have time and again made remarks about women, obscene remarks, double meaning jokes about women, actresses, politicians. And Vijay probably just wants to stamp that name because he knows for a fact when you look at history, when you look at the history of DMK, every time they've made such a remark or an attack against a woman, that has actually backfired. Jayalalitha in 1989. You know what? They literally manhandled her in the assembly, went on to lose the election in 91. And you know how many seats they won in 91? 2 seats. DMK of the 234 seats, they only won 2 seats. So it was that bad. So he knows for a fact that it can backfire. And that's probably the only purpose. But what surprises me here is unlike in the other cases that I mentioned, whether it's Raja, Ponmudi, Sadiq, Radha Ravi, in those cases, DMK came up with the political correctness of coming out and either apologizing or expelling these people from the party or expelling them from their position or suspending them from the party, which has happened in all the 4 cases that I mentioned. This time, because he is the leader of the opposition and the son of a generational, whether it's Karunanidhi or Stalin himself, they're not willing to apologize. I think the right thing to do for DMK is not to make a big deal out of it. Apologize because people we hear that, understand that it was a mistake. He blurted it out at the spur of the moment. You can just apologize and get this conversation done with. That is the right thing to do for DMK.
Okay, let me get advocate Sonali Shah here. Sonali, there are two things here. And I'm not even going to use the word modesty of a woman because that in itself is a very patriarchal word when you use the word modesty of a woman. I'm just using a very gender neutral word here, Sonali. I'm saying that when you use words which are out of line, inappropriate in public, and India is a modern country. People have partnerships. I mean, so the electorate accepts it. No one has the right to say anything. So when people say things like that, and when the arrests take place, or someone is taken around and demonstrated, is it a larger reflection of the way our political parties and politicians are behaving? Using the hard end of the law and the policing machinery to to tame, put in line your political opponent. And again, at the caveat, I'm doing it again and again. I object to what Udhayanidhi Stalin has said. But I was also aghast at what happened in terms of the LOP getting picked up.
See, I absolutely agree to what you're saying. See, abuse of police machinery is not something new in our country. We have seen extreme actions being taken even during the CGP protests that happened. That kind of action was not required in the students. Students were not required to speak against the political leaders like that. And even here in our country, I would say, especially in the southern India politics, it has become a trend to make such misogynistic comments. And if we see, as Mr. Nirmal himself said, that there has been trend, there has been consistent situations wherein DMK has passed such misogynistic comments against women. Don't you think we need a situation where a full stop to this needs to be put? If there can be a decorum of working at a workplace, We have a legislation called Prevention of Sexual Harassment at Workplace. Why can't there be a decorum in political speeches? I agree that political speeches are protected. I agree that the sections that have been levied as of now are all majorly bailable, and whatever are non-bailable, even then in them the imprisonment is less than 7 years. So yes, the correct procedure was that a notice for appearance had to be sent for interrogation, and nothing beyond that was required. But in our country, we have always seen that the power is abused and misused. Be it VIP culture in temples, be it using political police machinery to exert pressure and power. That is a standard. So if a norm has to be set, it has to be set across the country. The political parties need to understand that the machinery is to protect the citizens of India. It is not meant to be abused like this. So yes, very much the way the entire fiasco turned out, it was inappropriate. But the comments made by Stallion was also incorrect, and we need to develop a culture in our country wherein people can put in their words sensibly, respectfully. There is never any reason to pass such lewd remarks against anyone. I would not restrict it to a particular gender. I would say even if it's a remark being made against men, it is inappropriate. You should always watch what you are saying. Your language should be taken care of because you are standing on a platform. You are being watched by masses. So every word that you say has to be measured and weighed. Because you are the one who are a
Sonali,
representative.
I completely agree with you. Misogyny is an issue. Today is not the day when I talk about 400 crore ki, 200 crore ki girlfriend statement that was made way back in 2014. I don't want to go back to it, but let me quickly take opening comments from two other gentlemen who have been waiting. Then I'll go to TVK spokesperson. Mr. Subramaniam, I completely agree with Sonali that, there is misogyny in Indian politics. I completely understand that, this misogyny is so pervasive. It cuts across political parties. It cuts across region. It cuts across ethnicity. But is this the way to treat misogyny, Mr. Subramaniam?
See, in India, we Hindus believe the karma theory. In a couple of years back, what the DMK then Minister Udhayanidhi Stalin spoke about eradicating the DMK. Don't take me wrong. DMK means dengue, malaria, kosu. He has equated that to Sanatana Dharma. Okay. So you want to eradicate Sanatana Dharma, which is equal to like eradication of dengue, malaria, kosu. So no action was taken. Only we appeared before court, and court has, he has apologized in the court. No action was taken. But the karma theory is paying back. Though I don't agree or subscribe to Joseph Vijay's action today, but his intention is good. Intent to punish him is good, but implementation is not. Today it's failed. But at least it will give a at least sense of fear to the political parties or the political leaders who will not abuse in the public. Okay, whether it is a 5-year-old baby or 50-year-old aged women or 80-year aged women. Doesn't matter. We have to give a respect to the fellow human being. That too, we worship women as a mother of our country. Okay, how can one person having a constitutional post is a leader of opposition? So you may say that I have not said that word, but you have influenced the people who are assembled over there. Based on your request, those people have come, and you have triggered them to utter one word. Based on that, you picked up the word, and there's the double meaning of the word was coined. Okay, you cannot run away from that mistake. Okay, so but I think what action has been taken by Vijay is trend setting now. So another thing is,
okay.
I think the
I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you, sir, because I have not gone to Vijay. Vijay, because I know Sasi needs to leave. Sasi, I'll be coming to you. Just wait here. Vijay, do you think that Vijay has gifted Udhayanidhi's talent, which even Stalin couldn't gift him? A political arrest, public tamasha, a sort of a political reinvention for a dynast. ये विजय ने गिफ्ट कर दिया क्या? एक रिटर्न गिफ्ट हो गया, because he wouldn't have been able to, he's a dynast. Udhayanidhi is a dynast. You have arrested him. You have given him things which sort of a first timer gets it. Someone who's trying to break into the politics. So in terms of politics, your comments, sir.
Is this for me or for?
This is for Vijay. Vijay. This is for you, Shekhar Vijayan. This is for you.
It's for me. Okay. I was thinking Vijay. So, first of all, good evening to all my fellow panelists. See, I think the real problem is the statement which was made by Udhayanidhi Stalin, which was very wrong, very offensive, and it was not correct at all. And we have seen politicians of all parties doing it in the past. You know, they've been all getting away with it. Somewhere you need to draw a line in the sand and say, this is not correct. We are living in the 21st century. These are all elected representatives. Everybody's watching them. Now, for what Udhayanidhi Stalin did and how he passed a remark, I think it was a very snide, very sarcastic, very sardonic remark which he passed. And if his party cadres were making the statement, he could have stopped the conversation midway and asked them to focus on the Cauvery issue. But I think, the way he smiled, the way he reacted, spoke about it. Now, how Vijay reacted was overreaction, I feel, in terms of getting the LOP imprisoned. But you have to also understand that as a leader of opposition, you hold a very credible position. As a LOP, you need to be very careful of what you speak, how you speak, what you represent. It's not about, Udhayanidhi Stalin talking for himself. He represents what DMK stands for, right? In terms of the culture of the party. Now, as your fellow panelists were telling, they've always been speaking like this. I think it's a thing. I think it's a syndrome which is there across all the parties. And they all tend to get away with it because nobody questions them on this, about how they can even speak in this manner. It speaks a lot about the culture. It speaks a lot about the fact that they are arrogant about it. And the way Vijay reacted, I think he overreacted. But I think he's also set a precedent in terms of this cannot happen again. And it should not be just about LOP or scoring brownie points with the opposition. It's about setting an example and telling that this is not done. There is a certain Lakshman Rekha you don't cross. And I think that is what is more important about how do you make sure that these conversations do not get into family, do not be derogatory, do not be inflammatory. It should focus on the conversation itself, which is about the Cauvery water issue, which is a big problem for them. That's what they should focus on. But then he deviated from that and went the other way. And now, like you said, he is trying to play the sympathy card because he's a Dionist and he gets into the police station. It helps him in the long run. But at the end of the day, I think what's important as leaders, they need to focus on what is really important in terms of the conversation and not making it derogatory and inflammatory, and also doesn't speak against women or men. I think that's not required because millions of people are watching them. Their credibility is at stake. We are discussing this at prime time. And that goes without saying that, they really need to be careful of what they speak. There should be a line in the sand which is drawn from now on, which makes sure that they are accountable for this.